Hello everybody, this is Count MRVHS and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Rhovanion campaign. In the last few episodes we have made quite a bit of progress, basically taking over the central parts of Rhûn. We do have a few armies in the field to clear up here, and a couple of settlements to the south and to the north that they still own, but doing quite well there. We even made some strong moves against Rhovanion, taking Belligant, and we do have forces approaching to grab Rathwen. But the other part of the Rhovanion War is down here. This is a settlement that we do want to take, and so we have it under siege. I believe we are building rams. Yes, we are. And so we'll see what happens in the next turn here, because I think we're going to get attacked. Oh, I guess we weren't. Interesting. So we will have to assault. We did see some diplomacy from Adunabar, which is a little concerning. Again, when the AI opens diplomacy or gestures at you with a diplomat, but doesn't actually open the diplomacy screen, it can indicate that they are trying a bribe or considering betraying on you or something. I'm not totally sure, but I'm always suspicious of that. We are also under siege. That's over here, I believe. Yep, in Adel, just as we thought. And so we're going to have to hold out against this army. Let's see if we can identify that. Because we are going to probably need to sally out. Okay, Axeman Warband. And in here we have swords, foresters, and a couple of scouts. That would be close, but I think we can do it. Let's just get our reinforcements down. I guess we have some cav we could bring over as well. Especially since this as a rebel province is not really going to threaten us. There's not going to be any Khandian armies moving up towards Amrandor, so since the public order is good, we can afford to take guys out of here, I would say. Let's see, who's the most expensive unit in here? I guess these swords. You bring them over. Adel is going to be more of the front lines, at least until a proper faction conquers this settlement. So I think we'll be alright in Amrandor. Let's check out the other news here, and then we'll get to that assault over in Rhovanion's settlement. Okay, great. Belligant has finished provincial pacification, and Dale has advanced tanneries and woolmakers, which means that now we can retrain all of these guys for better armor. I don't know that I really feel a need to retrain these guys in particular, but tell you what, we will retrain a couple of units of retainer longbowmen. Let's just get them queued up. That's already so expensive. Why is that hurting our economy so badly? We only have one settlement under siege. I didn't queue up any other buildings. It's kind of a shockingly bad economy here. Okay, we do have an adept governor coming of age in Nerig Zagil, and I think I may leave him here. Learned in lore, that's great, and intelligent. So I think he will take over the governorship of this settlement once the king dies. He is probably getting up there. Yes, seasoned, which means he is getting old. Will probably die of old age fairly soon. So we've got another governor waiting in the wings to take up leadership of Nerig Zagil. And we do have, some more building here that we want to do. We'll get roads. We'll get the major province so that we can get our industries developed even further. And then, maybe we'll do some other things. We'll probably get going on Chieftain's Feasts. So, considering we are going to be doing building in that settlement, we may as well have a governor there. All right, but what else did we want to take a look at? Because we finished Belligant's provincial pacification, and so now we can go for Homeland Dominion. And yeah, this is going to make us a 2,000 Mirian. That's just fantastic. So, really it'll be 1,400 or 1,600 because we're losing 400 due to mismanagement. But that's a great increase. Since he's the governor, I think let's just double check what we have for buildings here. I don't think anything is going to be auto-destroyed. if we put it over to local governance. So we'll do that. Growth policy, and then untick these boxes so that I can actually choose what I build. Okay, we've got our scout here. All right. I am a little concerned about Garth. We do see some Rhovanion men-at-arms here, Rhovanion bowmen. These are like higher tier units. And there's a lot of levy rune units probably in this stack as well. But it's a pretty big stack, and it's been fairly stubborn, I would say. They've been a stubborn opponent, at least for North Rune. So I was originally going to bring this army down to the capital of Rhovanost. I keep thinking this is the capital. Of course, I moved the capital everywhere. This is the original capital. But in any case, I don't know that I really need them over here. Whereas it would be nice to have a bunch of archers right here, ready to go, in case North Rune starts trouble. So I think I will bring them over here. I don't think I want to meet up with this army necessarily. I kind of like having this guy just completely blocked at the ford. This is a nobleman. What is this? 3 units. So we're closing in on Rathwin. I'm really not too worried about that. We will have another family member here, a 3rd family member in the theater, which means we can leave this guy as the governor and then add some units to this stack or this stack from Belligant. Okay, let's just move everybody over. And yeah, we do have some forces approaching from the north. The mercenaries have replenished here. So we get another sling unit. Typically, you do end up with just a ton of slingers in Rune if you spend enough time there. But that's all good. And I think we'll have no trouble pushing this army back. Eventually, we want to get into a position where we can have this settlement under siege just kind of perpetually. And we move north to actually take this settlement. And then we can think about maybe getting Rune as a protectorate, or just leaving them with that single settlement that is very easily contained. That's going to wait, for our reinforcements to get here before we start pushing back on them. And then once we're able to do that, then we can free up these guys to head out here and north, and with other reinforcements to push into North Rune. But yeah, we're just losing so much cash. So maybe I don't want to queue up these archers just yet. They're not super expensive. But let's wait. We can certainly get them later. And I think we got to do this fight. So let's go ahead and assault Lithmore Chant.
Engage the enemy.
And yeah, just a ton of Rhovanion peasants at arms, and a single unit of Rhovanion scouts showing up as reinforcements. They're going to get into the settlement, no problem. But they're also not going to be a threat. So we will, have to work a little bit, I think, just to make sure that we aren't... to make sure that those peasants aren't too much of a speed bump. But I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Alright, since we don't have any other infantry, we have to use our archers to bash the gates open. That's alright. Literally everything else is cav. I guess I could peel off some riders. Let's do that. We've got some mercenaries. No, let's take these guys. And I think the enemy reinforcements are going to come from over here. So we'll set them over here to intercept.
More men.
Yeah, they're way off in the distance. But these are just such tiny units. And you can see they're basically the same model as the Rhovanion spearmen, but they don't have the same qualities, so they're not going to be as much of a threat, I don't think. Let's get our guys running, because they could be going for this rear gate. And this is a faster unit. You know, it's not technically the end of the world if we don't catch them, but it would be annoying because I'm going to actually be counting on the March Wardens, I think, to be doing fighting in the city, because they've just got better defensive stats. Whereas with your Lancers, you really want to be doing, the Scouts, you want to be doing those quick hit and run maneuvers out in the field where you have more space and you can just easily disengage. The March Wardens are more equipped to get into a slog.
Our soldiers have reached the gates with a battering ram.
Now you can see they're stopping here. Now, they could actually do a lot of damage if they charge us, and they're going to charge us. So, oh man. Oh, they stopped. Well, that's perfect. Alright, there's the reinforcements. Some of them may get back. Nope, guess not. Okay, so now we gotta bring these guys all the way back around. They're winded, so it will be a little annoying having to, you know, wait for them to get all the way back. But we're not gonna wait. We'll get some guys in. We'll probably actually capture this gate pretty easily if we go around this way, which we may or may not bother doing. They have 0 ranged units, so all I'm worried about, I guess, is getting hit by the towers. There goes the gate.
Our soldiers have done their work well. The battering ram has broken through the gate.
We're going to get to a point where we can actually shoot over the walls. Alright, we are hitting them. Alright, let's send 2 units of March Wardens in after these peasants at arms. It's just going to be a pushing match, and we'll see how we do. I don't really have much experience fighting this unit.
Our soldiers have done well this day. The walls are taken.
They are getting some kills, or at least one. But they're wavering too, and they're broken. Okay, great. That was like my, that was my hope. Kind of a test case for how these guys are going to perform. So let's bring in all the other cavalry units. We'll get you guys over here. And then we'll get some of our cav to go around to the left. And they're coming down towards us, which is just great. I'd rather them not all pile up into the plaza where they can't break. Oh, my general is coming over. We are actually still in range with our bowman mercenaries, so we're hitting them as they come in and retreat. Alright, let's send him in. March Wardens are fresh. Doing a charge, but you can see they don't have their lances down. So this is not the best charge, but they're already breaking some of these units. Their morale is just so bad. Let's get a unit over here to the gate. We'll let those guys in. And yeah, we're doing very well here, just routing them all. If we get a big chain route going. I guess that the more numbers pile in here, the faster that's going to happen. We'll chase them all back to the plaza. And I guess I will bring the archers up here. Okay, I'm just going to run them through, actually, rather than having them attack any particular unit. So you can see they're getting into melee, but they're just not stopping. They're going on, and there's enough of them that they're able to just kind of push through and cause routes. So we're gonna kill the general here, I would think.
The enemy general is running away. This is
We
no
get
way
this
for a leader
gate?
to behave.
Guess
But in
not.
battle, it's beyond belief.
Alright, he goes down. Alright, there's the gate. So we'll bring these guys in. Some other units over here I would like to take out. I'll pull the general through. He does have javelins still. This is not going to be good for pathfinding, as the units want to go through the middle of the square before turning. Let's just pile everybody in. Maybe we'll get a good charge. Alright, these are Rhovanion scouts, so they're not going to be doing as well in a melee. You can see they're already taking some losses here. These guys are winning easily, but I think we'll get them running pretty quick. Alright, we're charging in with a general. Hopefully that shock will be enough to cut down the last of them. Down to 5 men and wavering. And then once we've got the square, you know, the ones that are left are going to be much easier to rout. Yeah, we've killed those guys, and we've got one last unit here, so... Yeah, we did take losses. We're down to 29 and 27 in these units of March Wardens. Yeah, these guys are shaken. I'm thinking they're going to be breaking here. Alright, great. We'll just end that battle. So we're down by about 45 men. Alright, awesome. Lithmore Chant. This is one where we're going to want to occupy, I think. There's nobody here. So no point in laying desolate. We'll keep the paltry population here, bring that down to low taxes. It's going to bottom out at 400 anyway, so we're really not saving ourselves all that much. This general is not good. He is inept, which is, I think, better than incompetent. I think slightly better. Hard to tell. But in any case, we don't particularly want him to be a governor. And he's not a particularly good general either. He's just a guy who's around to lead the army. So we'll bring the spearmen over here, and this will be kind of our garrison plan. I don't think there's anybody else in the area in terms of Rhovanian's units. But just to be really, really, really sure, bring the scout over here. Send him up there. And we'll come back over here, and then he'll probably live down around Daggerlad, this region, to keep an eye on Adunabar. Alright, the other thing we really want to take care of is going to be this fight, this one right down here for Adele. Now, I could wait, and I think I will wait for the next turn, because they're not going to be assaulting me now, so I could just hold off, and then I'll be able to get all of these guys in on the fight in the next season. Now, they may bring up some more reinforcements, so there is a bit of a risk in waiting, but I think I want to take that risk. Now, is anything else in Lithmore Chant that I want to do? I don't think so. We could get rid of the Homeland Dominion here, but But we're still working on it in, like, Amrondor, 4 seasons left there. And we're starting it in Belagant, so let's wait. We'll, well, actually, yellow faces are as bad as it is, so let's go ahead. This place is going to be totally fine for public order itself. Okay, that brought Amrondor down to blue. Still not a real problem. Yodor and Esgaroth are in a blue face, so we are going to want to be careful from here on out about, you know, angering the populace and conquering new territories. But we are going to be making up that that discontent, I think, fairly quickly here. So we're in the hole for money. I need to figure out what the problem is there. Let's end the season. I think part of the problem is that we're now at war with Rhovanion, and so we lost a bunch of trade income, and that's part of it. You know, we were trading with both of these settlements, but now that we own Belagant, we're trading from Nereg Zigil to Belagant. Let's see how we did last turn. Okay, so we're still projected to lose almost 3,000, even right now without doing anything. Well, let's take a look at the news. We have done a lot of training, and, you know, I think that's probably part of it. Just the training is catching up with me. Oh, that's right. See, all these guys got retrained, and I forgot because it's on auto manage. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I auto manage in settlements where I have a governor. I check this box, local governance, because it does help his opinion of liege trait, and you can see he's supportive right now, which is just over the midpoint. This is the lowest negative level. Or the lowest positive level you can get, rather. Everything below supportive gives him penalties. Supportive and above gives you bonuses to things like trade income and money and troop morale and so on. So these are all good things to have. But I guess one kind of disadvantage with having local governance selected is that you do auto retrain units. You cannot choose to not retrain your units. So last turn when I was thinking, nah, I'm not going to bother retraining these guys, I should have remembered, I'm auto-managing, they're going to get retrained unless I tick that box. So anyway, that's fine. They got some extra armor bonuses. So if we get attacked here, or if we really, really need to move those units somewhere, they'll get a little bit of a benefit. Tham is finished provincial pacification. And, you know, the other thing we may be running into is that our realm is expanding. We lost an emissary over here. Let's grab another one. Let's grab one out of Bern just because population's better here. As we expand, we're going to run into the potential problem where we are losing cash. So each additional province is going to start to bring up less and less money for us as we expand. This is just something that the mod is designed to reflect sort of bloat of your expanding kingdom. And we're up to, what is it, 15 settlements now? Oh, 17. We're doing better than I thought. So we are, you know, over the halfway point to our 30 province requirement. I'm not sure if that's really the reason our economy is hurting so bad. I don't know if that bloat factor is actually kicking in economically, but that is something that will happen as you get more, just more provinces. They're going to be less financially lucrative. Okay, so now we can start using or disbanding some of these units, or retraining them, or whatever we want to do. So I'm going to put spearmen down here. I think I'm going to keep the bowman mercenaries. They're very cheap in upkeep. Leave them right there with a spearman, but we are going to take everything else. And you know what? This is an all-cavalry army. I think we've got the time to send them off into the east. We've even got more mercs if we want. Let's hold off. Our economy's kind of struggling right now. We'll send them off into the east to help clean up against Rune. So we'll continue bringing our units wherever we decide we need them. Let's see. Do I want to send them all down here, or some towards Tham or Raycoast, or what do I want to do? Okay, I guess we don't need this spy right here anymore. We know that's just axes and warband. We'll send him down to see what this is. That's archers and cav. And down here, this is, okay. They've only got mustering fields here, so that's fine. All right, let's... I think I'll bring you guys right down here. That's Rhovanion Foresters. We'll bring the cav over. And you can't quite reach from there, but I'll send you over here. The name of the there we go. We can just reach that. Now when I sally, we should be getting all these units as reinforcements. All right. And then I think what I'll do after this fight is, yeah, we'll bring down some more reinforcements to send them down towards that settlement in the southwest. That runic settlement that is in Mordor. And we'll leave some of these guys here in the settlement as a garrison and to kind of just hold off aggression from any other neighbors.
Reinforcements have arrived, but are they in time to take part in the battle?
All right, all these guys are up here. The enemy's way over there. This is a unit of swordsmen. Let's bring everybody out this gate. Speed up the action. They may just be leaving, or they may just be doing their typical thing of deploying over here. Yeah. But that's fine. We've got them from a couple of different directions. And since they're sending a unit towards us, that's actually quite good. I'm happy to have the swordsman back here a little bit. Set up some charges in the flanks. Alright, these guys are going to be lame and not actually throw javelins. So we want to get them off skirmish and run away, and then we'll charge in with these guys and charge in with these guys. Alright, they're evenly matched. You know what? Let's take our time with it. Let's see if we can get a nice rear charge in. Have everybody running. Losing heavily and wavering. I think I'll send a single unit of cav in. This should be a good charge. Yep, enough to rout. Okay, and they're going away. I think I'll just let them leave. So I think in my reinforcements, we have some slingers or some other archers maybe coming. And that's going to be very nice, actually. I don't have any long-range stuff down here. And we're going to want something to force movement on the battlefield to, you know, reach out and hit them from a distance. So it's good to bring down those extra reinforcements. And then the plan is to just bottle up Rune in that settlement. I don't want to actually conquer it. I just want to get like a good threatening enough force in the area and just leave it there. So part of the reason I don't want to conquer it is Rune is a horde faction. So if we conquer all of their settlements, they can just generate like 6 full stacks. Now there's ways around that. You know, you could go assault their last settlement, kill the family members, and then back out, and then you've, you know, killed the family. I just don't like doing that kind of stuff. It feels a little weird. So I'm not going to be going that route, but we'll be going the bottling them up route, I think. All right, everyone can get into the city, so we'll do that. And Adele, right, so we didn't bother tearing down their Dominion building here. Yeah, we're losing so much cash. See what else we can do. These units. All right, so we're building roads here, which will be very nice. Let's see. We've got 1 unit of archers here. It's not quite as much as I want. And also we've got very, very small units of cav. So let's bring these guys together. And bring them down here. I'd rather not trespass on Adunabar's land. We are going to be bringing some more cavalry over this way. And then the question is, how much cleanup do we want to do around here? This is the High Chieftain, the Ruler and Heir. We could knock both of them out. You know, I don't know if they have any other family members. They don't have any down here. They probably do up in the north. I mean, it would be really cool if I could eliminate the faction right here. So I'm actually going to give this a shot.
Sir.
Let's see.
Captain.
Let's leave, like,
Captain.
the tiniest unit in here. Because we can bring back most of our forces, if not all. Alright, Fast of the Nameless Land and his heir, Boar of the Tribe of the White Ox, 2 full units of axemen and a single man, and then 19 Eastland Raiders. So the biggest problem here is going to be the axes, of course, and the couple of units of Chieftain's Guard. But we'll apply the usual pressure of lots of cavalry on 1 unit at a time. Just gang up on them and hope for the best. Oh, what did I... Wait, what? Is this an ambush or something? What the hell is... I must have missed something. Where's the axemen? There they are. Okay, let's get everybody... Slingers over there, that's fine. You know what? Spearmen can actually go over here. We completely destroyed their riders. Alright, you know what? And let's just ignore their axemen for now. We'll go over and take out their Hillman Hex levies. That's right. We'll go over and take out the general. That's going to be the plan. Our archers and slingers can just keep shooting at the axemen and skirmishing away. We will have to keep an eye on the spearmen here. Let's in fact bring the spearmen back now that we're not planning to do a hammer anvil thing with them. Alright, this is going to be a little dicey maybe because they're attacking both of our clumps of horsemen. But yeah, we're going to take them out, I think. Okay, they're fighting with our hillman axes, going after our spears. Alright, that's both family members gone. Let's bring the cav back. Spearmen here are winning against these guys. We'll just keep shooting into their flanks. They're wavering. You know, I wouldn't say no to wiping out the faction. I normally don't like to do that because it's just cooler to keep them alive and try to get them as a protectorate. So I must have completely missed this battle. Like they triggered an ambush or something while we walked over. But doesn't that happen? I don't know. Regardless, we fought our way out of the quote-unquote ambush, which we were intending to fight anyway. They were in sort of an ambush stance, weren't they, now that I think of it? I'll have to look at the playback on this. But regardless, we took them out. If there are no more family members, that would be neat. Then I wouldn't have to chase them to the ends of the earth. Although, you know, the other problem with that is Adunabar can move in and take that province of theirs, or Khand, I guess. But you know, it might work out fine. So let's see what happens here. We lost about 50 men, not too bad. got rid of a nice big force right in the middle of this territory. And that really frees up the armies around Tham now. Okay, they've still got some family members. That's kind of a shame. Still, there's no one down here. All the family members are up in the north.
Captain.
Okay, no more mercenaries. Let's see. Arndor is pretty good, an adept commander, but a poor governor. So, what can we get away with here? I think, you know, although I'm losing money already, we've got to invest in the Outland Dominion since I started down that road. And we'll be doing the same down here in a couple of turns. Let's see, how long? Only 5 seasons for this. And only 3 seasons here, so that's all going to be working out. We've actually got a larger army around here than I've, thought. There are a lot of kind of chewed up units of cavalry and spears and so on, but we've got some decent mix. So what I'm trying to decide is how far to move this army, how many men to move north. I don't really want to keep him around in Tham forever because governing is not his strong suit. So let's leave these Rhovanian spearmen and Hillman axe levies. There's not many of you. Now we can retrain the mercenaries, slingers. 35 public order. Not yet. I think we need to get our Homeland Dominion built. But once we've done that, we can retrain all the slingers that we're recruiting, the mercenaries. So that's a nice thing of it being a chief settlement. Let's bring you and you and you. See how this goes. Yeah, I think we're going to need to keep pretty much everybody. That did nothing to the public order. 2,900 population is just a lot.
Captain. Sir, leaving the army.
45. Actually, could we retrain you now? Yeah, we can. We don't even have to wait.
Orders. Leaving the army.
That's 50. Yeah, it's not worth it. The governor is costing us 300 a turn. But we'll just wait until the situation improves, and then we'll send some more men. Now, outside here, we could certainly take this army out. But let's just take a cruise around. I'm not sure that I want to do that this episode. And just look at what else we're doing in the area. So, right, Rhovanion. We've got this nobleman here just sitting on the ford. And I don't know if we have anything else, like anything else that's really coming in our direction. No other Rhovanion. Oh, there is one right here. The King of Rhovanion, with some levies, basically.
Captain.
So, how do we want to do this? I'd rather not get attacked while I'm besieging Rathwin. You know, I'd like to just assault it for reasons that I've already discussed. But let's get these guys out of our territory anyway. We'll meet up these forces. And I don't think we're going to be able to hit them this turn, unfortunately. But we will next time. We'll kill their king. I'm quite sure we've got enough light cav, we've got enough longbows. So this is going to be a pretty interesting army to use. Alright, and we've got some of these guys. So where are you going to be useful? Probably up here, honestly. Let's send them over here just so that this guy might not attack them. We'll get them up around Belligant or to join up with that army. And do I want to fight another Battle of Rune?
Captain.
I guess. Yeah, we have to do it. It'll be nice to end the episode with all of the armies of Rune kicked off of our land, pretty much. Feels like making progress. Okay, so again, we've got a couple of family members here. We'll keep them back. And we don't have a lot of cav, although I did train one of these units of Eastland Raider levies, and I'll just put them with the other very, very light remnants of cav. These guys will probably stick back with the generals. Theoretically, we could send them back to get retrained. We get our spearmen up front and everybody else is slingers or whatnot. Okay. I think that's fine. Yeah, they're going to be on that hill. They've got no ranged. Axes, warband, axes, and a unit of light cav. So we'll be able to get like to the bottom of this hill and shoot at them and kind of pull them down the hill. They still do have an advantage in terms of infantry. So we will have to be a bit careful. Because they could, you know, theoretically, they could do a nice concerted charge down the hill at us. If they timed it right, do a lot of damage. But it looks like they're just going to withdraw, actually. All right. Well, that's probably good for them. They get to stay in the field where they're more annoying to us. Because I don't want to chase them with this army. We've got to keep people in the settlement to defend it. If they retreat to the north, though, I might consider it. Yeah. Okay, so they're going way to the north. You know, let's now see what this looks like. We take this guy out of Tham because he's just costing us money. All right, that turns the face blue. We've got these other units here. I'm going to retrain these mercenaries and just see what happens. It might just be that they're going to get some bonuses to, I don't know, experience or something. But probably not. It's probably going to be that they get trained up to full. So that's nice. But do I want to bother bringing anybody else? Yeah, public order here is just so bad. So I'm not gonna risk it. This guy is just another warm body at this point. He can head north and combine with what I've got around Raycoast, basically. This place is a bit more happy. We've got the public order buildings. We've got the ability to train units. Population is quite low, so we're not going to be suffering too much unrest. And I don't think I need the spy down here anymore. So we'll bring him back up into the north, and we'll close in. We do want to take this. We do, though, want to have you know, a good enough position in the south to, or in this area. Once we take it, we're basically on notice because North Rune is going to be sharing a long border with us. They're still at war with Rhovanion, so that may keep them peaceful for a while. But they may attack us at some point. You know, it might be worth looking at buying this settlement from them. We gifted it to them when we took it a while ago, and I think that was a good move, and we are trading with them now. But if I could buy this from them, it would be nice to have it because it's safe. It's completely surrounded by our settlements. So we could take it and hold it pretty easily, I think. But let's wait for some of those buildings to get finished, and then we'll kind of go from there. I think that's it for the episode, though, today, folks. When we come back, we're going to be looking at clearing up these field armies of Rhovanion, seeing what we can do about that, putting the pressure on Rathwin, hopefully besieging it and taking it fairly soon, finishing up some building, and getting these guys over into the east where we can finally get Rune contained. And we're very, very close to doing that. So we got one settlement added to the pile today. We're up to 17, more than halfway there to our victory conditions. And I hope you enjoyed the episode and will stick around for the next one. Until then, take care.